Hello, JMixers. Today we're going to take a look at the extended continuous integration framework that will help us to analyze and set up the system in order to automatically launch performance testing scripts and report it back to appropriate parties. So first, let's take a look at our system. So just imagine it is a standard N-tier application or something in that area. So we have a group of web servers located in the data center, right? Our customers are connecting through the internet, and first areas are going to hit probably DNS server or an IPS, and then F5 and load balancer, and load balancer split it to different web servers which have a backend connectivity with database clusters, and those database clusters are mirrored. So in our case, we have a load engine which is located in the same area where our data center is. We're not going to test this through the internet, so we are connecting right before firewall, right, or before any type of first hip. Also, we'll have a server which is help us to collect necessary data. This server will have Jenkins. Also, it will have Influx database and Grafana. Load engine server will supply the data to InfluxDB. Jenkins will have a job, and it will be triggered by some outside element. In our case, probably email. It could be anything. Those who knows Jenkins, they understand that Jenkins has a wide area of triggers. You can trigger job after job. You can trigger by email or flat file or whatever. In our case, probably going to be email. And also, we'll have capability to notify our customer. In that case, let's say performance manager or product manager or whatever, that our test started. Here's the monitoring metrics of this test, and after the test is completed, it will be notified again that test is completed, and here is the report of our process. So let's begin. First, let's review our test plan. It is relatively simple, nothing specifically there. It has a different type of web service calls, about 10 different web service calls. Some of them are located on the Tomcat web services, some of them on IIS, and they have different flavors. For example, this one is just simple calculation. So this one going to Tomcat, and Tomcat is on port 8282. This one is going to IIS server, which is on port 8181. Same calculation. So this is SOAP request. Some of them are posting data in REST format. So this one is the IIS, right? Couple distributed tests as well. This one capturing the regular expression and creating the value and then passing to the next one to navigate to website. So pretty simple, nothing special, right? Then we're going to take a look at the our Jenkins. Let's minimize this and go to our Jenkins. So here we have a job, and we going to configure it. Alright, so this job is straightforward. It's executing JMeter script, asking to run the script, run the report after its execution, passing a couple local variables, uh, and then sending emails. Back. We also have a Grafana as a monitoring services. Right, we get to it later, but just in case it's running a different port. Alright, so we're going to execute our Jenkins and see how the process is going. So we're going to send email, and Jenkins going to capture it and start the test, and we will receive the new email which will say that test is begin, with some links to the monitoring web page, and when test is complete it will send another email saying everything runs successfully, and here is the report. So go ahead and sending it, and let's see, let's pay attention to this area. Okay, here we go. Jenkins just capture email, right? Let's take a look what's going on there. We're looking in the console view, right? So it did capture and started executing the JMix with group of parameters. For those who ran JMeter in the command prompt, they will see and they understand these lines, meaning it's actually executing. In fact, it's showing that mail was sent, right? And next line, and so it's running, and let's see if we got email. So we got email from Jenkins. It's saying build 83 started, right? And in fact, it's showing where the you can look at the monitor. So let's click on it, and you can see Grafana started. And here's our process. And that is pretty cool that any type of auditors can take a look at the real life data going in the test. You can see all the different pages. Remember 10 pages? You can see all of them, how they progress, right? And looking into the Jenkins again, our test is running. We have no errors so far. Let's look at the our test. You can look at the number of threads. Again, just to remember, so we send email to trigger Jenkins, right? Jenkins trigger load engine, which contain JMeter. JMeter sending data feed to the influx database, and our auditor or user or monitoring entity can utilize the website of Grafana services, which is connected to the influx database and reading real-time data. So here again, we're running our test plan. This looks so far nice. There is no errors. So this one is Tomcat Web Services. We can look at the different web service. If it started, let's say, see the stars started. right? The service started, and you can see the type of throughputs we have. You can see response time. Look at the average response time, 2.76 milliseconds. You can see percentiles as well. I still have my doubts about the accuracy of Grafana representing data, but probably in the next session we will discuss it closer. I looked at the data of response time, transaction per second, and looked like Grafana is not showing entirely correctly. JMeter report is showing much higher numbers from transaction per second. I did synchronize the capture time is 1 second for Grafana and 1 second for JMeter script. So I'm not sure, maybe it is something configuration, maybe it is a bug, or not real sure. However, Grafana, in my opinion, is a pretty good tool to just to show that test is running and there is no errors and there is no significant dives between the iterations. So it's sort of important. So look like our test is about to complete. Yes. So now we are in success. Let's look at our email. So here we received email. It says success, right? Looking into the Jenkins, we also see that it's completed successfully. We can look at the performance trend. It's loading. See, test trend still loading, but click on this performance reports. So yes, we see those services are completed and ran successfully. And if you click on each of those, you can see some data. To be honest, not really big fan of it, but Jenkins is a good sort of executor. Have my doubts about reports, but nevertheless, it's nice to have it, right? So Grafana is done. We can actually stop it if you want to. And what's cool about it, you can actually, highlight an area and analyze it more closer, or you can actually select runs for different times in, say, 2 days, right? You can see this data and you can say, okay, we ran something on 23rd. Look at this data as well, right? And look at the different parameters at different time and actually compare them. So it's kind of interesting and cool. So now let's take a look at our email and we'll see what we got there. So we got email, as I said before, with success build from Jenkins, and it's sending a report link. So let's take a look at the link. So now we are going to actual direct link to the report on IIS server of the our box, which is as well could be located in the same sort of data capture server right here, or whatever. Capability of that as well, the auditors or user who interested in results can have an access there. And as you can see, we are having data back populated with all necessary results. right? And we can see more accurate, in my opinion, results with much bigger scope of data than Grafana is presenting to us. So here's our uh, number of transactions per second for every single web service call we've done. All right, and here you can see distributed calls. They go into the same task, but they're splitting differently. And here's the request we are dynamically generated from the previous request. This one was making call to web services to get website ID and was passing to this one. So kind of cool. So once again, here's another example of how to utilize JMeter and other open source tools to have very decent and, in my opinion, pretty stable performance continuous integration environment, which could be very easily implemented in any type of organization. So as you can see, all of the performance tools are open source, right? So it could be built relatively inexpensive and be successfully implemented. I hope you enjoyed this. See you later. Till next time. Bye.